welcome to Center Stage at Meek, Season 2. Today we have a up-and-coming artist with us. We're filming right here in Liberty City at the Meek Center, which is an outreach center for Miami-Dade College North Campus. And we have with us Mr. David Phileas. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
As you guys know, I'm David Phileas. I am an alumni of Miami-Dade, specifically North Campus. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I am, as you said, I am an upcoming artist, upcoming Christian artist.
For those people that don't know you that well, tell them a little bit about your journey.
Okay. First and foremost, my artist name is Man Of God Dav. So the journey from just being regular old David started. It started about like elementary, as you guys know, elementary. I started off really trying to find myself, but not running away from crowds. You know, everybody always try to say they were lonely and they weren't trying to fit in and everything. But me, growing up, I loved the crowds and I embraced every crowd. I was just trying to, make everybody felt like fit in and everything like that. But along that route, it started getting me in certain situations that I probably shouldn't have gotten in the first place.
Okay.
But along those routes, I was able to find myself with a foundation built on Christ, because my mother will allow me to go to church with her every Sunday, and just allowing me to. So it was like a little bit of both worlds. Like at school, I was one way, church another way. But at the end of the day, that foundation was built, and when everything came falling down, I was able to turn and become Man of God, David, that you see now.
Okay, so the foundation that your mom built gave you something to fall back on.
Yes.
And to remember what you actually believe in, because a lot of us sometimes, in younger years, we're still trying to figure it out. What do I believe in? And that foundation gave you something to fall back on.
Yeah, especially growing up in like a Haitian household, everything is always like, oh, it has to be like this. Why you love friends so much and everything like that? You got to go to church, school, and that's it. Like, just it had to be about that. But me being stubborn, me being somebody who felt like I could find a way around it. A lot of things that I've done in life, my mom still probably doesn't know about. I grew up in a single parent home.
Yeah.
So she didn't know. She still probably doesn't know what was going on. But I'm just happy I was able to find a way, and her giving me that foundation.
That is awesome. So every success story has a beginning. What experiences in your childhood or adolescence helped shape the person you are today? Which you sort of spoke about that a little just now, talking about the two worlds, living, one way in school with your friends, and then at home, you had the foundation of going to church and someone trying to give you a structure in your life. But is there a specific experience that you're willing to speak about that you think was like a pivotal point to guide you to the current journey?
I mean, I could utilize my whole life, but a specific experience that I could think about is, I went through a season of isolation through, I believe in 2022, and that's what led me to come back. Like I started at Miami-Dade in 2018, well, 2019, spring 2019, and then during COVID, everybody left. So I left school and I started working, and then, as that I started chasing money. But throughout all of that, I went through a situation that led me to a season of isolation, and it allowed me to, start seeking God more. It led me to being all alone, to nobody to face, no financial issues, issues with like feeling like I'm empty, I'm still empty, like having the money and going out every weekend, but still feeling so empty. So the only thing I had left was to cry out to God and lean towards Him for strength and for just like guidance, And
yeah, that's powerful, because when you go through something like that, it really grounds you, and it is a way also how people get closer to God. So that's great to hear. Well, you said earlier that you're a Miami-Dade College alum,
Yes.
and we're so proud of that because a lot of talent comes through Miami-Dade College.
Yes.
So let me ask you a little bit about your time here at Miami-Dade College. I see that in reading about you and a little bit in your bio, that it did play an important role in your development.
Yes.
So just how did your experience at Miami-Dade help you become a stronger leader and a person? And also, is there a professor, a mentor, an advisor, a staff member that might have made a lasting impact on you and your journey educationally and maybe personally?
Okay, so basically, like I said, I started at Miami-Dade spring 2019, but along those years, like I met a few people. I would say the organization that played a big part around that time was Trio, and I met a lot of people. I met Miss McMayo, Miss Madonna.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I met all of them. Shoot, it was so many people like that just kept checking on me. Sometimes when I wouldn't go to class, I'll go try to chill in Trio, and they'll be like, "Let me see your schedule," or just checking on my grades. We had like random grades checks and everything.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't until I came back in 2022, and I came back to Miami-Dade, and I was actually taking school back serious.
Yeah.
Where I heard about this club called MOF, and that was where I met Mr. Joshua Ahuna, and he was a big, I could say he was a big mentor for me. He really prepped us, like a lot of things that people didn't see in the background. He really made sure that we were on time for certain things. He has this one quote that never left me. As a man, all you got is your word, and if you can't hold that word, you might as well. You don't got nothing. So
amazing.
So that was one of the biggest things. But I can't honestly like name everyone that played a part, but it's so many people. Like it was like a community. Really, my second.
Wow, that is amazing, and that shows the talent on both sides, right? Talent from our students that are coming out of the college, going into careers, but also talent within the college where the right people are in the right places to help foster your success. So that's awesome to hear. Thank you for that story. That was a feel-good one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you have interests in nutrition, wellness, leadership, mentorship, community outreach. How did these passions develop, and how do they connect with one another?
Okay, so the nutrition part, that comes with my major and me becoming a future RD in the near future. And then as for mentorship and community outreach and wellness, it's just everything from church, from the mentors that I had in the past and how they treat me. It makes me want to go out. I could say mentors, advisors, conversations that I've had, it just makes you want to do more. Because when you have those people who set a different path for you, they set different goals for you. They set like a personal, like, they show you what it is to be better, make a difference, and that allowed me to want to be different and, work with the community, work with the younger generation, and try to, in any way I can, or shape or form, just have that same experience that my mentors had on me and my advisors had on me, and have that for someone else.
That's great. So many students struggle with balancing school, work, family, personal growth. What advice would you give to someone who feels a little overwhelmed? Looking at whatever the journey was that you were having, you found yourself feeling isolated. So what kind of advice would you give to stay grounded and focused?
This may sound like a little cliche, but first and foremost, always allow God first in everything you do and everything that you put your mind to. And then second is just, allow yourself grace, because I've been through so much experiences with myself that I'm not giving myself grace. I may get a bad grade or a bad grade on a test, and it's only the first test, and I'm feeling bad on myself, and I'm looking down on myself like, you should have did better. But what I learned over the years is look at the bright side. Okay, you did bad on this test. You have so much. How much time do you have left to do better on the next one? How much study time are you willing to put? How much sacrifices are you willing to put into your grades? And that's really all it is. If something bad happens at work, okay, I still have a job. I still could work my way up. It's just one day. And
so sometimes you have to encourage yourself, right? It's a whole song about it.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, music is one of your platforms for inspiration. When did you realize music could become more than just entertainment? That it could become your ministry, and it's a way that you can get a message out to people.
So basically, when I first, like I said, I went through the season of isolation, and it all just basically allowed me to sit with God and ask God, okay, what's next for me? So I wanted to spread the gospel. So first things first, I opened my TikTok. I started watching live TikToks. I started watching others in pursuit of what they wanted, like how are they going about the things that they do. So I just felt like God was tugging on my heart and telling me, go spread my gospel. So I started off first with TikTok.
Okay.
And mind you, with music, it was more like I already was doing that when I wasn't in Christ. So I felt like I couldn't make music no more because it's gonna be harder. Like, what am I gonna speak about? Like, if I'm not reading, if I don't know the word, how can I just spread it? So I just kept praying to God about it. And then one day I was just swiping on TikTok, and somebody was like, you can do anything you want when spreading the gospel. You can utilize, like, everybody has a purpose for their life. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't cut yourself short and like put yourself in this little box where you can't do it for God. So God gave you these abilities and these blessings to work in His kingdom. So I started listening to other Christian artists. I really didn't like. Honestly, it was hard for me to like make the change and listen to it because I would listen to other music, but then I started seeing there was other young guys who were making Christian music, and it kind of made me feel like, okay, I could do this. Let me try. I ain't gonna lie, my first Christian song, it did not come out how I wanted it to, and I was like, this is bad. So then I was like, man, God, I don't know why I'm even doing this. Like, what can I do? So I got deeper into my word, and I got deeper into the passion, and then I just started finding beats, and then
what would you say you didn't like about the first one?
The thing I didn't like the mix, because around that time Christian rap was like nobody really knew about it. So when you tell people, hey, I'm coming to your studio to record this song, they weren't taking it seriously. Yeah. So that kind of like fell into it. The session was just bad. It wasn't like it wasn't a real engineer, and then I couldn't find people who found my sound. So every song I made, it just wasn't what it was. And then finally, I was like, okay, I want to start doing this. I'm going to continue writing and making music, and I also wanted to do shirts. I will never forget this day. I went to Custom Ink. I made a design, and I put it on the shirt, and I ordered it. And I said, I can't wait till this shirt come. The shirt came. I did not like it. It's still in my closet to this day. And then I put that. I ended up having a homeboy who needed modeling, so he needed like people to take pictures of. And I was like, and then he also had a homeboy who does engineering. And then that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check him out. I booked the session. I was like, I hope this isn't like anything else. So as I'm recording and everything, like it's a certain process of mixing. As I was like making the song, I'm just like, this is not how I had it. This is not what it was. But I just kept going. I just kept singing it, and then that ended up being the first song I ended up dropping and making a music video to. It's called "Change My Life" by Man Of God Dav. And after the guy mixed it, like I don't know what he did, but it just sounded perfect. And it
Yeah.
was like, and everybody I showed it to, they were just like, yo, this sound like it's ready to mix right now, and I didn't even get the master yet.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was just like at
Everything
that point,
fell into place for
yeah.
you.
And then I had the pictures, and yeah, so it was just very good.
Awesome, awesome. So social media can be used for many different purposes. Why did you decide to use platforms like Instagram and TikTok to share your faith, motivation, and personal journey?
Okay, so the reason I chose TikTok, like I said, that's where it started. So I started making posts about Christ, and the more I started posting, the more I started seeing people react to my videos. So it started going from 100 views to 200 views to 1,000 views to okay, probably 500. So
Uh-huh.
my brothers, I didn't speak about my brothers, but I'm the youngest of four,
Yes.
of four boys, and my brothers was just telling me like, if you want to do it, go ahead. Like I was sharing a room with my brother at the time, and he was like, whenever you need to go on TikTok live, I'll leave the room. Like just go do what you got to do. Like try to see what you got to do. So TikTok
Mm-hmm.
already had built up like I started building up like I don't support a supportive group,
Mm-hmm.
and people were like following me and everything.
Have anything gone viral?
Yeah, I have my first post that went viral. I believe it was in 2024. I posted this post like this was like it's so crazy how a post could go viral and you were
Mm-hmm.
just like doing nothing.
Well, when it's authentic, a lot of times it comes across to the audience that way. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I'm like usually when I make a post, I do my drafts first and I just leave the video. So I remember I was at the beach at a I was at an anniversary for a church, and after the event I went into the bathroom and I changed my clothes, but I had a towel on my head and I had a toothpick because I had just finished eating, and I just recorded a video. And then as I recorded the video, I just put a caption. I think it was I had got a specific word at work. Me and my friend, my homegirl was talking, and I said, "Wait till y'all realize who the fourth man was in Daniel, in the furnace." And then I just put it, and I said, "Go read Daniel 3" in the caption with laughing emojis, and I just put hashtags. And then like I promise you, like the first day it was like at 1,000, and then I was like, why so much people like why am I what's going on? Like I just keep seeing like likes, and I just keep seeing people like sharing it. Even the person's song that I use this I think her name is Lizzie Morgan. I forgot the exact group.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Reds. I forgot, but they actually reposted and liked the video because
Wow.
that's how it had like 2.4 million views.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, so that was just a crazy moment for me, but that also led to my bigger following on TikTok, and I just give all the glory to God. That was a big part of everything. But I was already dropping music and everything.
Mm-hmm. What has been the most rewarding response you've received from someone whose life was impacted by your content?
Um, it is so much. Like I feel like the little things matter to me. So
Mm-hmm.
like just somebody coming up to me and saying, "Oh, this song right here really meant so much to me. It reminds me of this." That's everything to me because it's like that's what I do it for.
Right.
So it's just like the compliments. I had somebody come up to me and just hug me and said, thank you for dropping this song. Thank you for dropping this video."
Yeah, you're touching lives.
Yeah, so it was just like
Amazing.
it was just stuff like that that really like speaks out to me, and just like having a support, like everybody, like even my friends just coming to support me or giving me encouraging word, like this is actually good, like you should do this, you should do that, and just stuff like that.
So leadership isn't just about titles, it's about influence. How do you define leadership and what does it look like in everyday life?
Okay, so a leader I would say is someone who's an example, someone who shows, hey, we're gonna do this way, and they just take authority. Like like um, during my time at Miami-Dade, I was MOF vice president, and when I became the vice president, me and Josh had a conversations like just me trying to pick his brain. Like, okay, so I was just sometimes I would ask him, I'd be like, I feel like the vice president does more than the president. And then he would just be like, it's a role. You gotta be a role. You gotta play your role. It's a team. You can't look at it like, oh, I'm doing more than this or I'm doing more than that. But it's just like at the end of the day, you gotta be able to pick and choose and bring everyone together. And that's how I looked at it. Like
Leadership is big. One thing that I like to say is, are you a leader if no one is following?
yes,
So if you're not able to bring people together to come to a common goal,
yes,
it's kind of hard to say that you're a leader. So as vice president, you found yourself having to pull people together to get things done.
yes, like just the whole group, or like say like even me, even myself. I had to be a leader for myself. So imagine that, like putting yourself in that position. Like
Yes.
you may not want to do something, or we may have an event plan, and Josh may need somebody. I gotta be able to volunteer myself, even if I don't want to
Right.
do it. If I feel like I'm behind on assignments, like
Yeah.
I gotta be there. So
And how are you going to lead someone else if you're not willing to do the same work you're asking them to do?
exactly.
That's true. All right. So tell us, well, you did tell us about your first song and how it didn't turn out the way that you hoped that it would. The beat was not good to you. It was just a real setback in terms of what you thought it would be versus what it really was.
Yes.
So tell us about a setback or a little bit more about that, or a failure that ultimately became one of your greatest learning experiences.
Okay, so for example, it's one of the songs that I have out now. It's called Made Away. I was trying to make the song a testimony song, but it's like certain parts didn't add up. Like the verse wasn't long enough. Like I was writing and I was like, this not going together. So that's when I had to learn that at the end of the day, I can't force nothing to be what I want it to be. I'm still doing the work of God. So I had to lean on God to understand that, okay, he's gonna give me this lyrics, but every time I catch a flow, it has to be flowy. So the song started off as a testimony, but then it just became me speaking about how God made a way, how God influenced my life, and he just is everything.
Yeah.
All glory to him.
Oh, that sounds like a testimony to me. But I understand that you're saying that sometimes the work speaks for itself. Like you want to put it in a box and make it one thing.
Yes.
And you have to, lean on your faith to say, okay, this is what I thought. This is what David thought it was going to be.
Yes.
Help me to make it what you want it to be.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and speak to your younger self during your first semester at Miami-Dade College, what advice would you give to yourself?
I have this conversation on a daily basis, but to tell my younger self, stop skipping math class, college math. Stop wear socks when it's cold. I had this bad habit. It used to get cold around spring semester, and I'll wear jeans, hoodie, and I would wear no socks. So yeah. So
Did that create a problem for you?
It created a bad problem because my feet would hurt. But
Oh my goodness! So you go back and tell yourself that.
yes, I would definitely tell myself that.
So community service is clearly important to you.
Yes.
Why do you believe giving back is essential, especially for young professionals?
I believe giving back because at the end of the day, you were given. I was given something. So why not be able to give back to set the same example? Just like I explained earlier, it's like I was given the something that stayed with me forever. And even me, it's like the little things count, but it's like imagine giving back, and you just like, you can have that same influence on somebody that somebody had on you. So it's that.
So health and wellness are more important than ever. What practical habits can students begin today to improve both their physical and mental well-being?
I would first say, like, a lot of people people do long studying, but they don't eat. Like I noticed that like a lot of people don't eat. They think starving themselves is something that they feel like is okay, you know. And I feel like that's something that people should start taking very seriously. Eating and sleep, I would say.
Eating habits and sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching. Somebody sent me a video the other day about sleep and how it's not just for rest, but it also is when your body gets cleared out while you're sleeping, like the fluids that are coming from your spinal.
Yes.
All of that sort of clears out, and that your body, it's not like it's going to work overtime to clean it if you're not sleeping. Yes. So you have to sleep in order for those things to happen. So that was another reason why I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get more sleep.
Yes.
So I agree with you on that, sleep and eating habits.
Yeah.
So you've combined education, faith, music, and service into your purpose.
Yes.
How did you discover your purpose, and what advice do you have for students that are still searching for theirs?
Again, this may sound a little cliche, but just having that foundation built on God and understanding, like, God is going to lead the way. Like, if you don't have your focus on God, and I've been through multiple seasons where my focus was off God, and I just felt lost. I felt lost again, and I just had to just get back and just lock myself in my room for a little bit, 5 to 10 minutes, and just tell myself I need to pray. I need to get in my word, and that's really a big thing for me, because it's like I want to be I always like to be the first person to check himself. So before I look at anybody, I don't point fingers at anybody. I don't care what everybody else has going on, unless you come with me for advice. Then I will give my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's like I want to be able to check myself first before anybody can have an opinion about me, you know?
Okay.
And that's really something that
so we can self-regulate, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So as we close, with every Center Stage at Meek interview, I want to ask you, what does leaving a legacy mean to you, and how do you hope people will remember David?
So leaving a legacy is very important, but it's not too important. The whole mission and the whole reason I live is to let everybody know that Jesus Christ is real. I've had an encounter. I hope everyone has their own encounter so they can continue to allow him to be first, just like I do in everything I do. And to me, David is just a God-fearing man of God that just wants to continue to see God and live for him forever till my last breath.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your responses. I think our audience will now they have a better understanding of who David Phileas is, and your journey. All right, everyone, tune in. We are wrapping up right now the interview at Center Stage at Meek. Thank you.
Thank you.